Hello, and welcome to the World's RV Show, going on now at Motorhome Specialist, the #1 volume-selling motorhome dealership in the world. My name is Donnie O'Banion, and today I'm being joined by Joe Kellogg, who's the regional sales representative for the Sportscoach Luxury Diesel Division. And today we're lucky enough for Joe to be taking us around the all-new cross-country SRS series and showing us some of the key features and construction highlights that make this cross-country one of the most popular diesel pushers here at Motorhome Specialist for the last several years. Joe, thanks so much for coming. We really appreciate you being here and taking the time.
Great to be here, Donnie. There's a lot to talk about. We have a couple floor plans in this particular 36-foot motorhome. New 340 horse motor in these new coaches that you guys have.
That's big.
It's awesome is the paint, some of the inspiring of the paint jobs we have and things come from you guys a year or so ago, and it's really been productive. This is one of our best colors that we have. We are a Forest River company, and 50 years in the business with cross country, and actually
it's been around a long time.
Oh, a long time, yes sir.
I think it's never looked better. The paint jobs look great this year, and the floor plans. Really excited to see the new 361 BH, which we're going to be demonstrating today.
Correct.
Being a bunk model, you know we needed it.
Donnie, you know, this 361, as we go through this, there's a lot of new features inside of this with the new upholstery. The way we designed the bunks actually is dubbed as a closet. So you have that combination or one or both. It has TVs. This unit actually has 5 TVs in it.
Yes, yes it does. You've got 2 in the bunks.
One in the
bedroom,
one in the living, and one outside in the entertainment on the outside.
Sure does, sure does. No, this is a great arrangement and again a great family floor plan. We needed a bunk, you know, in this particular model. It was great to see the residential refrigerator, you know, again the attention to detail and the 2-tone leathers that y'all went to this year. The full linoleum floors, you know, where there's very little carpet left in these coaches, to where they're not getting tracked up. You know, the carpet getting the wear and tear that, you know, family style floor plans like this, you know, tend to get.
Yeah.
So it was just great to see. So I'm really excited about the 361 BH. And then of course there's still the 360 DL.
The fuel mileage on these has been phenomenal. We actually opt out, put the aluminum wheels on for you guys. We do a lot of nice things. You have your satellite dish on this. We put the washers and dryers in them already in the coaches.
Right. We like to heavily appoint you know, all these particular coaches. So, you know, as you said, you not only get the full body paint and the styling like we're looking here at the Red October, but there's 2 other exterior paints that are available. They all look great.
They do.
You know, the paint scheme itself, you know, we came up with that a couple of years ago. It won't go away. People continue to want this particular paint job and paint scheme. By adding the aluminum wheels, like I said, just gives it a whole nother level of, you know, look and styling from the outside. But the 360 DL, back to the floor plan for a moment. The 360 DL floor plan. Tell us a little bit about that particular arrangement as well.
Well, the 360 DL is actually a front living area. It's got a residential refrigerator in it, fireplace, and a large L-shaped sofa. We have a booth dinette that goes in that also. That will comfortably sleep 7 people, 1 being a smaller person, okay? So really, 6 adults and a child easily. It's very accommodating in that aspect. It's very user friendly as far as all the dash and everything in the coach actually ties together full length in the floor plan.
So you'd mentioned it now has a 340 horsepower Cummins diesel. Tell us a little bit more about the chassis and, you know, what this coach rides on. Well,
you know, this is on a Freightliner. It's a 208-inch wheelbase chassis. All air ride, air brakes, has an exhaust brake, and the new variable geometry turbo they put on these motors actually gives you 500 more braking horsepower than the old style exhaust brakes. So that's something that you can click on and do wind down the mountains. Of course, you guys do the upgrade aluminum wheels, which is they're all machined, they're true, they look nice, but they actually take heat away from the brakes and the tires as you travel in those extreme conditions. That 340 horse motor that's in the back has 700 foot-pounds of torque.
So it went from 660 to now 700?
700 on this 340, 6-speed Allison transmission. It actually will adjust to your style of driving and develop a shift pattern for how you drive. This motorhome will give you maximum horsepower, torque, and fuel economy. This little motorhome is phenomenal. It should get between 8 and 10 miles a gallon, if not more, actually towing a vehicle. You have dual fuel like we have on our bigger coaches.
Great. Look at the storage. This is very similar to the doors and the construction of the doors. You know, we did a video yesterday on the Pathfinder, but the construction of the doors and everything seems the same.
Well, you know what? They are the same. In fact, the same structural integrity that is in that high-dollar Pathfinder is the same that's in this. Floor, sidewalls, and roof, the way we designed it, our paint scheme and the clear coats we use on this is the same as a Pathfinder.
So this is still a double clear coat, high-speed polished?
Yes, and we do it all in-house. Actually, we build 75% of this motorhome in-house. We get the chassis and the raw materials, and we construct it from ground up. The engineering in this is phenomenal. And as far as storage goes, this calculates to be around 200 or a little bit over cubic feet, 200 cubic feet of storage space at your fingertips.
And just over 36 foot.
In 36-foot motorhome.
Diesel push motorhome. That's really impressive. The latches are also, you know, really impressive as far as, you know, obviously they're side swing baggage doors, but how beefy the latches are themselves, the catches for the doors. You're actually using real gas struts.
Exactly.
You know, on them instead of, you know, a lot of times they're just free floating, or they'll use a strap of some kind. Right.
Exactly. And something else too, when I talked about structural integrity, this still has this saddlebag truss outriggers front to back. Actually has 11 on this particular motorhome. The side of this, where you have the steel base floor that's in this that lays on top of the outrigger trusses that we have, is all steel plated on the side. You have steel stepwell in the front and a steel firewall and steel framed and steel plated firewall from the dash area all the way down through the chassis, which gives you a lot of structural integrity below the floor line. And we talked about paint a lot. This is something really for the customer to take pride in. You know, Sikkens paint goes on Maserati, BMW, Mercedes cars. And the way we apply it, our paint guy, Carson, has been in the business forever. Takes his job very serious, and you can see this in the paint. But when all this paint's layered on, you 3 to 4 on about every color, maybe 5 layers. Red takes about 6 to 8 to cover it, and then they sand this. And then they put a spray clear, bake it for an hour and a half at 160 degrees like we do on our higher end coach. And then it comes out and it gets sanded again. When it's all said and done, it's a phenomenal paint job. And you know what? It's not just us talking about it. Come see this, because this unit actually, truly, to see it in person is awesome.
It is. I mean, the coach has a beautiful look. But you know, what's so impressive with y'all is not just the actual look of the paint job, but it's what's behind the paint. You know, what y'all actually build the coach with.
Yes.
If you could elaborate a little bit more about, you know, the Asdel and some of the things that y'all are doing differently from the industry norm.
Well, the cheapest route to go, it would be a Luan-based gel coat, which we do not use. We use a Noble Select Asdel gel coat, which is lighter weight. It won't take on moisture, and it's very expensive to buy a sheet per side. That actually goes on to, and we vacuum bond these sidewalls. And doing that instead of a pinch roll sidewall, you actually put 2.5 to 2.9 pounds per square inch, or square foot, excuse me, on this particular unit. And it actually gives it that even look where you don't have the waves, or minimal in a big sidewall like this.
Right. Studded,
the windows are framed in aluminum, they're all hand routed out, and we actually tear test and pull adhesion test every floor sidewall of our coaches, and it's actually computer logged and kept a piece that's written
every single unit that's
every
built?
Single unit, yes. We run our motorhomes through a rain test of 50 inches an hour, up to a 50 inches an hour rain test before they leave the factory, and we test and basically PDI every unit that leaves the factory at this point.
Wow, that's really impressive, especially with the sidewall tear. I did not realize that y'all did that on every unit.
You know something, Donnie, that gets overlooked a lot of times, and people find it out after they purchase a motorhome, but on both sides of this unit, you actually have a female hookup for air underneath this. That actually, this unit operates on 110 to 120 PSI, okay. So you actually have a quick connect coupler there that you could air up bike tires, mattresses, have an air use for any power tools if you actually had those with you. But it's very accessible. And it's very
very user friendly. And
yes.
And as you were saying, I mean, even in an emergency situation, I mean, if you had a flat tire, you know, and you needed to air up an actual tire for the coach itself, or if somebody was to come out, You've got an endless supply of air, or to be able to run an air tool, anything.
Correct. I mean, that would allow you to air up the one of the tires on the unit to get you down the road or off the road even.
Absolutely.
Or help somebody else out.
So let's see, what do we got in this bay? Well, just another really large storage bay here. I notice you have a 110 connection for, you know, if you outside radio or whatever else you want to hook up. Although,
look at that, 32-inch outside TV. We actually have a Samsung Blu-ray player in this bay here for your outside entertainment. This is all under the awning. Something else, you have 12-volt and cable hookup out here if you'd like.
Sure.
And this is a GF5, which is a ground fault interceptor. That if you had it in wet, if something happened, it actually kicks the breaker and is safe for the customer.
That's nice. And, you know, that's really handy to have. You know, obviously sometimes people like to run the awning lights, you know, the decorative lights.
Yes.
Although, again, with this one, it's really not needed because now you've got the LED lights built into this one, don't you?
That's exactly right. It's got backlit LEDs on the tube, which shines back onto the motorhome, and it's a lot more attractive than actually being off the coach itself. More user.
It's got a great new look, and it's a power awning, correct?
It's a power awning. Yes.
Okay. And is this one adjustable like what's on the Pathfinder?
Yes, sir. It actually has 6 adjustments on it. You have the high setting, which is on from the factory, and you can actually adjust the pitch down on that if you would like. And
I also noticed on the cross countries now, something that we're doing is putting the door awnings on there. That was something that was really important to a lot of customers. Wasn't always available.
Yes.
But now we've got a power entry door awning.
Yeah, we've introduced that here late season, and you guys were fortunate enough to have it on your units. We do have a power door over that. And something else too, we actually have the vented stack washer dryer in this, which a lot of manufacturers do not vent the washer dryer. It keeps all the moisture and stuff in the unit, where this vented washer dryer actually is more efficient.
And much more so. The dry times are much better on the actual vented.
Yeah, and you keep all the moisture out of the unit.
You bet. Also, y'all gone to the frameless windows this year, which has such a better look than the previous models.
Well, the nice thing about this is they're standard on this coach, the dual frame, the dual pane windows.
So they're actually dual pane as well.
They're
I just
dual
thought that
pane
they were
frameless. Yes, no, they're dual pane frameless windows. They will block out 60% of the ultraviolet rays and 70% of the infrared heat, just like in our high-end coaches, which obviously is better for climate control inside and saving your upholstery and carpets and things that are inside.
Yeah, the wear and tear on the interior fabrics and leathers especially.
Exactly.
And I like how they're hinged from the top too. Instead of it being the old style that kind of slides sideways to open, these you can actually pop up and vent the coach to let in some air, you know, even if it was raining outside.
Yeah, if you had a light rain or even a moderate or heavy rain, you can leave those open and still have that draft and not worry about rain coming in the unit.
Really nice new feature. Well, let's see what we got here. Oh, okay.
Oh, you know, like on the Pathfinder, this is a dual stage strut door here that actually it'll stop because of the slide out that's here. So if your slide out's out, this will stop here below the slide. If it's in, you can go ahead and open this up and have full access. Your DEF tank is here. You can actually see the jack that's in here. We have a 4-point leveling system on this, a 13-gallon diesel exhaust fluid tank, all right? That's 13 gallons. It actually uses a 2% consumption rate, so you're going to use about 2 gallons for every tank of fuel. So
you can get a lot of miles behind you then.
Absolutely.
They're really conveniently located, got plenty of space there in the top of that bay. And that was really smart, keeping that, like I said, having that dual strut on that door where you can't mess it up with your slide-out room.
This will come on
This
up
one
also.
does the same thing.
Now, you've got a huge 2,000 watt Magnum inverter on this. Your electrical panels is safety here, but this actually has the dual GFIs on it also, just like our higher end units.
Right, and the inverter, because this has the new residential refrigerator, the inverter, when you're going down the road, that's what's going to be running the refrigerator, correct?
Correct.
And the alternator from the engine itself is going to be charging the batteries, in turn running the inverter that's running the refrigerator. So now you don't have to worry about LP gas, you know, pilot light going out when you're going down the road, or even the expense of running the LP gas. It's just simply running the engine is keeping the refrigerator cool. And
well, the most convenient thing on a residential is when you go out to start it up, it'll actually freeze ice in a couple hours versus a day that a regular gas and electric does. And the way this is designed, that huge 160 amp alternator on here easily maintains battery capacities for traveling down the road. It just works very, very well.
And the inverter itself, you know, a lot of times people don't, you know, if they're first-time RVers or if they've only had a Class C or something in the past, they haven't never had an inverter. And, you know, some of the benefits, especially in a floor plan like this, being a bunk, obviously, in most instances, they're going to have kids with them.
Exactly.
In which case, 100% of those kids are going to be wanting to play video games, watch TV and stuff going down the road.
Yeah.
So now you don't have to run a generator anymore to give the kids TVs, to give them power to their game systems, to charge the gaming systems, to charge the cell phones and all that stuff. Again, you're going to have 110 power inside the coach because this, what size inverter is this? I mean,
it's 2,000 watt.
It's a monster.
Yes, it is.
So obviously, like I said, it's just a great convenience to not have to run the generator or use your diesel fuel to get 110 power inside the coach.
Exactly.
I mean, realistically, at that point, I mean, outside of air conditioning, you know, from the roof, you're not going to need the generator going down the road for really much of anything. Well,
very true. And I tell you what, that is such a benefit to having this type coach. You know how we come up and click this in? We use the thick thermal bulb seals on this. So if you actually have moisture get on this and cold freezing weather, it's not going to stick and tear the bulb seal. The seals are designed to last a long time, and we actually use some of those on the slide outs for the seals.
Right.
We use them on all of our doors, and they're actually double lipped also. So they actually have 2 water barrier moistures for traveling down the road, and not necessarily for water, but dust.
Sure, sure. It just helps keep the bays clean and obviously take care of all your components.
Correct.
Wow. In the back end, I mean, it's got a great look.
It's very sexy looking, and actually this is designed and engineered to break up the vacuum on the back. It's a large one-piece cap back here, and of course all the graphics wrap around to the back, and it all ties the sides and the back together. The way this is designed on the rear, you have a 7,500-pound tow vehicle hitch that's here.
That's great.
Seven-prong Bargeman plugs already pre-wired for any braking or trailer lights that you have. Of course, the roof rack and ladder here will take you up to the top for races. This actually has the new fiberglass roof on it, one piece.
That's one of the bigger or more notable improvements from the previous model years. That was really big going to the fiberglass roof on this coach.
Well, and this is actually laminated to the roof deck itself. So it's not actually laid on there and screwed down on the sides. The nice thing is this actually has a 5-inch aluminum truss roof front to back. And you, me, and whoever else would want to get up there, if you guys wanted to watch the races from the top, you could do it. Now,
so it's a true walk-on roof.
Yes.
Is that just down the sides, or is that truly on every center? I mean, you can walk behind the air conditioning units. You can be anywhere on that roof.
Anywhere on the roof,
and it's safe structurally.
Exactly.
That's a really big deal because it is used a lot for people who like to go to NASCAR, go to football games, sporting events, stuff like that, and they'll utilize them like that.
Well, and you're supposed to maintenance and check seals on your roof occasionally, every 6 months. You know, you should be doing that, and it's easy access to go up and do that yourself, or actually for the instead of putting a ladder on the side where you actually dink the paint or do something, you can actually scale up this and check it out yourself if you'd like.
That's really nice.
Or roof vents.
Now, while we're talking about the roof, the air conditioning system. Tell us a little bit about, the Sportscoach's air conditioning system, the even cool AC systems that is a little unique to the industry.
Well, it really truly is, because in that 5-inch 6-layer roof, we actually have a foil ductwork in there that actually, it won't collect allergens and dust, and it's easy cleanable, but it ties both ACs together, and these are two 13.5 roof air conditioners. And the way it's designed on the thermostat, you basically have 2 climates in the coach. You run the front a little cooler and the back a little warmer, or vice versa. The way this is set up, you can actually shut the vents in the front and run the front AC and move it to the back for evening sleeping.
Right, just make it quieter or to push air into different parts of the coach.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Now the ductwork itself, just to clarify for the consumer, a lot of coaches are just routed out inside a styrofoam.
Exactly.
And then the air runs through the styrofoam, and that's the actual ductwork. But y'all are actually using the aluminum
truss.
Okay, so
yeah,
so it's an actual like a ducted air conditioning system you'd have in an office space or something along those lines.
You actually pipe it through between the trusses just like you would in a house.
And it's all rounded radiused corners, so again it can't collect that dirt or debris or collect water.
Yes.
And things like that that can happen in other systems.
Well, not to talk about other people's product, but they'll take 3.5-inch block foam and literally route out 1.5 inches of that, and that literally is their ductwork. Well, that's a porous material also, and it doesn't have the airflow that you have with an insulated ductwork that's slick inside.
Right.
So you can actually look through the vents in a lot of coaches and see that different aspect.
It's a really nice system. It's something I thought we should, make sure that the consumer understands what we're talking about, because there really is a notable difference in the air conditioning system that Coachmen does. Not just their Sportscoach line, which is obviously the luxury division of the Coachmen Industries, but that's something that they utilize all the way down to their Class Cs.
Exactly.
In the Freelanders.
That's right.
Through their Concorde models, the Muratas and Counters. It's something that is just done. Just across the board there at Coachmen and Sportscoach.
Well, it just goes to prove there's more to the motorhome. Just isn't she pretty? It has a lot of nice features, and it's structurally inside out is very well built.
And getting around on these coaches anymore is so easy. I mean, y'all's backup camera systems now are really incredible. What you can do with them.
Oh,
in the old days, it was just one camera pointed down at your tow vehicle, and that's about all it was good for.
Right.
It was truly backing up or keeping an eye on your tow vehicle.
Right. Well, this actually has an audio back here. Like we're talking, actually, the driver could actually hear us in our conversation at this point. It'll actually be a security camera for the back of the coach. Mm-hmm. The two side cameras are not mounted on the mirrors. They're actually mounted on the side down low. With your slide outs out at night, you can actually see down low, and even traveling down the road, that positioning is actually better than being up high. You have more visibility of your blind spots that would typically be in a motorhome.
So as you were saying, the cameras themselves, they work as like an infrared camera at night.
Yes, they do.
So if somebody was to knock at the door, again, you can see behind the coach, and both of your side cameras can be utilized from the front dash.
Right.
To actually see around the coach,
exactly.
From a security standpoint.
Well, they're designed to pick up about 20 feet in the dark.
It really does add just a whole new dimension of usability for a backup camera.
Well, safety in every aspect.
Absolutely.
What
do we got here?
Well, right here underneath this, actually you have the electronics for the motor, but you have your air filter here.
Wow.
It's easy maintenance if you want to do that yourself.
I'm going to say that's really rare because most of the time you can't get to them.
Well, that's very true.
Really, really tough to get to, but that's very, very accessible.
Well, the nice thing about it is, too, your air intake for the motors here, this is the cleanest, driest air you can get going down the road after all the testing's been done.
It has a 50 amp service, but on this coach, you can break these things down from 50 to 30 amp. Some of the older parks, state parks, things like that, won't offer 50 amp all the time. So is this coach... is it able to still run on 30 amp?
With the energy management system, yes, it is. It'll run everything in the motorhome, but it'll actually take the certain components off. If you start overloading the 30 amp circuit, it'll actually take it away and store it and kick it back on when the power is available.
Okay, so for instance, if they're running both roof air conditioning systems, you can still run both airs on your 30 amp service.
Yes.
Let's say somebody loads a hair dryer or something else that has a lot of amperage and it pulls. Then it will take that rear air conditioning system and unload the compressor where it's just running a fan.
Right.
So while the hair dryer is running, when they finish, they turn the hair dryer off. It automatically recognizes that it has that power available again, reloads the compressor, and you're back in business. So it's just a seamless operation,
right,
whether you're in 30 or 50 amp, and it still gives you the ability to utilize the entire coach even at an older park.
Well, it maintains the 30 amp service for the usability in the coach.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. Don't have to worry about throwing breakers and stuff anymore and popping fuses.
Correct.
That's a really big deal. This is not a storage compartment. It's not lined.
Well, what's nice about this compartment is we've actually utilized this area here for the batteries.
Okay.
And you've got an 80-pound LP tank below that. You actually have two 1150 cranking amp engine chassis batteries.
Okay.
And then you have 4 deep cycle batteries for the house. And those 4 deep cycle batteries literally make 110 with that big inverter we talked about.
Right. Well, really nice, clean area. It's got a good size LP gas tank, which especially is, you're not going to have to fill up LP near as often as you would in the old days with the residential refrigerator.
Correct.
I mean, it's really just the water heater and furnace in the wintertime.
And your 3-burner range in the galley area.
So, I mean, that'll last a really long time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. This is really well laid out.
Well, the wet bay area is a very clean operation here. You actually have the no mess termination center down below. It gives you a 180-degree angle because of your dump stations aren't always necessarily right where your wet bay is,
Right.
where you have that termination set up.
For years, this has been an exclusive, and I didn't realize that it was trademarked until yesterday, actually. But that is such a great feature, on the Coachmen and Sportscoach products. Because being able to hook up that sewer hose and not have to disconnect it and keep all of that outside where where your inside of your bay always stays clean. You don't have to disconnect that sewer hose and then throw it inside your bay.
Yeah.
It is just so much more sanitary.
Well, it has to go somewhere, Donnie, and it is a sewer hose. So if you can keep that in its place,
absolutely,
you don't have to store it in a bag and put it in a compartment.
Just makes so much sense.
And it's much cleaner and more sanitary overall. The whole water system's filtered in this. Ice maker that's in this particular unit is going to have the filter off the refrigerator also. So your ice that's being made through that will actually have a double filter on it. You've got hot and cold shower outside. You can actually wash your pets, clean out the wet bay, clean up your muddy shoes if you have them, sand off your feet. It's nice to put a little area rug out here just for this area if you need it.
Absolutely. And let's see, you've got your city water connection. It also has a sewer tank flush, so you can just plug up to that and wash out your black water tanks without having to get the old water hose and run it through a window with those sprayers that go down inside. The toilet. You can just conveniently plug the hose up right there and it just washes itself out.
Well, it has the high pressure sprayer nozzles inside that is designed actually to go down and around and break that up from underneath if you have any extra buildup into the tank.
That's great. Really convenient and just to help keep your tanks cleaned out and maintained properly.
Once
and then
again,
I guess this is just going to be the back side of the bulk of the storage bays here, I guess.
Yes.
Wow. Got another really large, and all of them are passed through.
Yes, they are up and over pass through, and this actually calculates, like I said, 200 plus cubic feet of storage in this unit. That's a lot of space.
It really is, and very easy to get to. And I like how these two bays right here are not walled off or separate, to where you can put longer things like fishing poles and stuff like that, right here close.
Well, you got close to 8 feet of storage here in length. If you need to utilize
so you don't have to use the pass-through storage, all the time. Having these
it's
really
all right here at your fingertips.
Absolutely. Yes. So this particular coach is what would be considered. This is a full wall slide. Virtually. It's within probably 4 or 5 feet of the back of the coach. So, for all practical purposes, it's a full wall.
What's amazing about it is you actually have your living, your galley and your bunks all in this one slide. When this opens up, it gives you a huge living area in this size of coach. And then you actually have a closet slide in the rear. So you have 2 slide outs in this, but basically a full wall.
And of course, we can talk more back and inside, but what I really like about the design of the 361 BH is it's not the traditional bunk to where you've got one slide on this side and the bunks always go out on the other, virtually all the floor plans. Well, that puts the kids' beds right outside on your patio area.
That's
so
right.
If mom and dad and the friends are staying up late and they might still be up and partying and talking and doing whatever, well, the kids' windows are literally out there on the campsite. This keeps them on the quieter side of the home.
Yes.
So it just has a lot of practical purposes, and it gives you that big awning space back over there because you don't have that, that larger slide room, intruding into your patio space on the other side. So you get a lot better patio area, easier place to set up your tables and campsite and, more chairs and stuff under the covered awning. There's just so many practical purposes to this floor plan. So I really thought it was great to see y'all put the bunks on this side of the coach.
Perfect example, Donnie. It's a social mobile almost, because when you go camping, you have family and friends and you entertain outside. So your porch area is wide open with your outside entertainment. Like you said, the bunks on this side, if kids do want to go to bed in the evening, they're kind of away from the outside entertainment. Right. And
exactly.
It's just a perfect design.
It really is. Did a great job on it. And speaking of great designs, the new front cap, I mean, it just looks incredible this year.
Well, it is. And the way this is designed, it's a one-piece. The windshield's actually urethane mounted. It actually has a low dip in here for better visibility out the front of the driver's seat. 8 to 10 more feet of road visibility. Large tent band at the top to help the solar rays driving into the sun.
Big one-piece windshields have finally gotten commonplace in the industry.
Yeah.
But as you noted a minute ago, your dash, you know, how it slopes down and how this windshield comes further down. The visibility from the driver's chair in these units, and again, it's something that's Coachmen and Sportscoach has, you know, branded themselves with for years. But that sight right dash is really, it's no joke. It's really amazing how much better you can see by sloping the dash instead of bringing it straight out to the, you know, flush with the edge of the windshield.
Let's paint a picture for the future owner of this, okay? You're sitting in the dash of this. You can see 6 to 8 more feet, maybe 10 feet of the road more. You've got 17-inch bus-style mirrors, heated remote. You have 2 side cameras up front, down low, and a rear view monitor on this. Sitting in the driver's seat, you virtually have 360-degree vision around the motorhome. And with the new A-pillar window, you actually have a little more visibility out the side.
No, that's a great new feature, like I said, for changing lanes. And, you know, again, that sight right dash along with that. I mean, when you're trying to make a tight turn, it's like, you know, am I going to miss the back bumper of that car?
Yeah,
you know,
that's exactly right. And, you know, take it a step further, Donnie, actually the defrost capabilities of this is greater with that angled dash going at the window versus straight up out of the flat dash.
I never thought about that, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you get about 6-8 inches of angle that helps that airflow across the defrost.
No, that would have to make a big difference. Big windshield wipers, you know, on the coach here, big heavy-duty windshield wipers. Onan diesel generator, right?
Yeah, Onan diesel generator, front-mounted, quiet, easy out of the way. This generator will use maybe a half a gallon an hour running both ACs. It's very efficient.
Really is. And easily accessible due to the Diamond Shield front-end paint protection.
Yes.
So you got that clear guard to protect your investment, keep the bugs and rock chips off the front of this really high-dollar exterior paint job.
Well, it'll deflect some pretty healthy rocks and rock chips off of this. And the Diamond Shield actually wraps and encases this front area down below the windshield. And we actually put some Diamond Shield around the key entry and the lower kick step down low so your heels or your toe doesn't kick and mar the paint.
Yeah, that Diamond Shield, it really is a big deal. As you open up the entry door, got the double power entrance steps.
Yes, and airbags drop, put your steps down low to the ground. But you know what? I'm going to reiterate this a little bit just so you know and the customers are viewing online. You know, a steel frame and steel plated firewall comes down into the main part of the truss outrigger chassis, ties into the steel grid floor, and all steel stepwell, one-piece stepwell that goes into this. And coupled with that is a radius door, entry door. In any RV, the weakest link in a coach is going to be the door area. And so when you bridge this together with one piece, you actually strengthen that whole area up with the one-piece stepwell. And this is stuff you can't see. Right. People take that for granted. But there's a lot of structural integrity built in the front cage of this. And the seats are mounted in 1/4-inch thick steel, tied down into the chassis. So everything has been tested, and
it's something that that value, when you talk about all that steel and that added rigidity here, especially in a front door diesel, it makes such a big difference because that big, beautiful one-piece windshield we were talking about, you have other products. If that gives up in the front, you pull in a parking space and that coach tweaks, you can crack a big windshield, you can pop a corner out, and that additional rigidity that y'all build into your coach, you know, I mean, it makes a big, big difference.
Well, Donnie, and that's something to be said as you go through those mountain ravines and different things. Sometimes you do put a lot of twist on the coach, and with this airbag suspension and the sack shocks that are on it, actually takes a lot of that out. But something else you don't realize is when you have all 4 jacks down, and if for some reason you're on somewhat soft ground and one settles at night, you actually can put the twist on the coach. And the way this is designed, you don't have to worry about the flex in this as much. And I would venture to say there's a couple manufacturers, we probably have about 25% raw more build material in this than some competitors on the market.
That's a great point. Well, listen, the exterior, incredibly impressive.
I want to show you the inside.
How about we pop the slides out and take a look?
That sounds good.
All right, let's do it. Wow, Joe. What a great looking coach this year.
Yeah, it's exciting to show you, and when the customers see it, they're going to love it also. This bunkhouse is really, really innovative, and it'll accommodate basically 8 people sleeping in it.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got the booth dinette sleeper here. I noticed y'all have gone to a dream style dinette, so it's actually on that shock. Right. You know, now we don't scar up your walls anymore. You can just push that down, so it very easily makes a bed. But then again, like I said, it takes care of the coach itself.
Well, and
you don't have to tear up your walls anymore.
I've been put to the test on that. When I say you can literally make a bed in about 15, 20 seconds, it's easily done.
And what about your sofa here?
This sofa here actually makes into a full-size bed. With the cushions that lay in the middle, it basically gives you a full mattress design when it's out in the floor.
Nice. So, another sleeper. I also noticed that you have seat belts in both of them.
Yes, we actually have seat belts on the booth dinette and the sofa itself, along with the full shoulder harnesses that actually come off the sidewall, so it actually has a better transition over your shoulder instead of in the seat.
Really nice. Really nice. Obviously, you got swivel seats on both, and oh, well, wait, the seat belts you've got 4 seat belts here in the booth.
Yeah, I just mentioned that.
Wow.
That you've got seat belts in the booth on this, and then you actually have the shoulder harnesses off the wall in this particular front end.
Well, a lot of times they'll just put, 1 seat belt or maybe 2 on one side, but, having all 4 seat belts, that's a big deal, especially, again, with a bunk model floor plan where you can keep the kids buckled up when they're going down the road, because they're going to spend a lot of time usually sitting at the table.
Yes.
They're eating, they're coloring, they're doing whatever, keeping them entertained when you're going down the road, and being able to keep them buckled up is not always the norm. You think it would be, but it's not in a lot of motorhomes.
Well, this heavy Naugahyde vinyl that we have here, it's a leatherette. It's actually breathable vinyl. 2-tone leather, very comfortable stitching and design. I've actually had seat time in these, and it's very comfortable to drive for long periods of time if you're doing that.
Great new cornice boards. So you've got day-night shades in these coaches, so give you a different level of privacy, and of course keep the sun out and.
And actually, it's an insulator too, as another barrier for the sun and the rays coming through, or even a cold temperature day.
Definitely. And, I really like how y'all utilized, this instead of using just fabric, because it's a lot less expensive to do that. But y'all have actually come in here and tied in your 2 leatherette colors here into the cornice boards, and just a great new look and just a lot of attention to detail.
Well, the color decor, you actually have a large solid surface galley area with the composite tops to match this. And all of the vinyl is very durable and cleanable. So if you do have kids or pets or whatever, this stuff's going to last for a lot of years.
And as we talked about earlier, full residential style linoleum flooring, the high-end vinyl flooring throughout. Now, it not only has a great look, but is so practical, in these types of floor plans. And most notably where the change is y'all now put it underneath the booth. It used to be in most all coaches, it was still the carpet underneath the booth, which made the least amount of sense. It's where you're going to get all the spills and stuff. So.
Well, a Swiffer duster or a damp mop cleans this nicely. You actually have enough room to put a few area rugs down where you can shake those out. It depends on how heavy the traffic is and, how kids are.
Right.
They like to play. They'll take these to softball games and soccer games. And
I definitely know how my 4 are. So, yes. But now, this particular coach that we're in, this has been our most popular wood through the years. But now y'all have something new. This is the cognac maple.
Yes, it's a darker wood, darker stain.
Just got a really nice, rich looks. Not too light, not too dark. It's been a great wood for a lot of years, but now y'all are offering a completely new look.
Well, we actually have what we call is an urban putty right now, and it's pretty much the color of this sofa here with the cabinetry, and then we put the color and decor where the fabrics complement the woods. And so when you have that mixture of the right fabrics and the color boards and the cabinetry wood, it really, really makes a nice looking.
Just gives the coach a whole nother look, for, somebody that just has a different taste, wants that lighter wood, opens it up a little bit.
Yes.
I will say that it kind of opens the space up a little bit, having the lighter wood. And, again, just gives a true option, now, little more, diversifies the model.
Well, and even we do the wainscoting on the sidewalls, and if you notice inside this slide room, you actually have a different textured wallpaper board.
Absolutely. I was commenting on that yesterday. So it's so much nicer than just the traditional white wall boards. Nice, rich look, gives it some texture, gives it some color, inside. Yeah. Just a much richer feel.
Well, the transition, when you see this in person, the transition from the floor to the upholstery to the sidewall and decor boards that are in this, it flows very nice and it's a nice warm feel. But more than that, it's very durable material that we're using in this.
Definitely. Y'all always do a good job of recognizing, families are going to be using these things. Y'all build them to last. Now, what do we got underneath here? Looks like, oh yeah, got a good sized storage drawer, both sides.
Yes.
All right. Now that's a really nice feature. And the ball bearing drawer guides look like they're full extension.
They are.
Is that throughout the coach?
That's throughout the motor.
So we're going to find there in the kitchen, you'll still have the nice ball bearing drawer guide.
Absolutely.
That's great. And speaking of all the drawers and stuff in the kitchen, why don't you show us a little bit of what you have here in the galley this year?
Well, this is kind of a wow kitchen for a bunkhouse model, okay? Look at the counter space that you have. You actually have an oven in this, a 30-inch microwave.
Wow.
And huge. And then a 3-burner high output range. I mean, you can put the big griddle on this or put the big cook pot on the front if you're going to cook like that. Solid surface counters. Keeps it germ-free, basically easy maintenance.
Got a triple ledge cut here on the edge of them.
Yes.
And I noticed over there, it's an actual Corian brand. It's not just a solid surface, it's true Corian.
Well, and not to mention a Corian solid surface top. This is actually a Moen extendable faucet also. And it's true 1/2 inch thick. It's not quarter like some of our competitors. And it has the deep seamless steel sinks to go with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can actually put your big pan in that.
There's those big full extension drawer glides we were talking about.
Drawer glides. Those actually are 2-stage that comes out and actually lets you get to the back of the drawer.
Great looking tile. The backsplash this year
backsplash
adds so much to the coach.
Something also is the hardware in here. This actually has the good hinges that are adjustable and spring-loaded. It has the big grab handles. And, a lot of times we sell elderly people, and not just for the 361, but this handle actually allows you to get your fingers around it and open it. So if you have an elderly person that has arthritis, it makes it simple to open.
That's nice. And the hidden hinges, again, it's an expensive step, but not only does it just last longer, but it looks so much nicer when you go to the expense for the hidden hinges.
Well, and these cabinets here are deep. They'll actually hold the big box of cereal for the kids, okay? So you have residential style cabinets in this. Now, to go with that also, Donnie, look at this refrigerator.
There's our residential fridge.
Is an 18 cubic foot, full-size refrigerator, big freezer with ice maker, and it actually runs off the inverter. And we talked about that before, but what's nice about this, on these newer 361s and the 360DLs we offer, actually has an auto gen start on this. So it can actually fire up with battery depletion and charge the batteries, keep the refrigerator running in quiet time in the parks.
So the objection of people talking about you can't go dry camping or be, out and about, unplugged up, or that objection's gone. Now you got the automatic generator start.
Simply not true.
Now you get all the dependability. Again, name brand appliances, Whirlpool. It's great to see how it goes stainless steel instead of, trying to go to the black front or whatever. Really gave the coach a great look this year.
Stepped it up. Well, the radius wall here transitioned into this area nice, and the refrigerator really is a big plus for family and kids.
Absolutely.
Something else. One of the few things that you'll find in a bunkhouse that's a 36-foot model is a stack washer dryer. And it's a vented dryer. Keeps the moisture out when clothes are drying. And it's a Splendide. It's an Italian-built washer and dryer, and it's very, very nice.
So important. I've been trying to get stack washer dryers in so many of my bunk models, including the gas, for years. Slow but sure. But, that feature right there is one that is utilized in 42 and 45-foot motorhomes. And a lot of times those people are couples, shorter trips and things like that. They're not getting the benefit or need the washer dryer. But bunk model motorhomes, if you get a washer dryer at all, it's going to be a combo. And this, like I said, the people who actually have the kids can wash some clothes, need the things, they can't get them And now, like I said, it fills that void in the industry. I mean, this coach just has so many great features. You know, we talked about the bunks being on this side of the coach, the residential refrigerator, the stack washer dryer, the full linoleum floors. I mean, such durable materials. I mean, it's just what a great family coach.
It's easy maintained. There's enough space and sleeping area. And we've actually thought about the outside entertaining and the inside entertaining with that 39-inch TV up front.
Oh, wow, yeah.
At 32 in the back. And we actually have two 13-inch TVs in this bunk area when we get to it, and a 32-inch outside.
So back here, I know we talked about the outside roof air conditioning units earlier. So these are the controls for your AC as well as your furnaces.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, and it's dual zone for the ACs.
That's great. That's great. And something else I did not realize until I got in here, y'all running soft touch vinyl ceilings.
Absolutely. Not everybody in this price point in this type coach has a soft touch vinyl ceiling. It's an added insulator, but it actually is very cleanable. If you happen to get splatter or you kill a fly on the roof, you can clean this.
Absolutely. That's the big thing to me, is how easy they are to keep your ceilings clean. Because, you know, as that air is pulling in dirt and debris, it's coming out the other side, you know, and over time, I mean, you're talking years, but, you know, in other ones, you know, in fabrics and things like that, you'll actually see the stains and stuff get into the ceilings that holds odors and other stuff. So much, much nicer. So
All the way
I was just
around.
surprised to see that.
Well, look at these lights, Donnie. I mean, the lighting in here with the LEDs, they run cool. They're very energy efficient.
Y'all have gone LED as well?
LED throughout the coach.
I knew it was in the Pathfinder. I did not realize it was going to be in the cross country.
Yes, we made that a standard in this. And along with the dual pane windows, there's a lot of nice high-end features in this that actually go with the motorhome and the price point.
Well, good. I should have recognized that. I mean, because it's much cooler in here than normal. Because obviously we can't run the airs right now. But, you know, I mean, it's still nice and cool inside this coach, because those other lights, I mean, they get so hot. I mean, they're literally burn your hands to the touch.
You can't touch them. And you think about it, if they're 100, 125-degree lights and you got 15 of them in the ceiling, go figure.
It's a big deal when it's 105 degrees outside and you're trying to cool the coach down.
Correct.
So,
yes.
Well, that's a big deal, as well as just how much better it takes care of the batteries at this point. I mean, dry camping,
right?
You know, you don't have near the draw on your batteries,
right? And and we've got these in sections, so you don't have to run them all at one time, but you could.
Wow!
You know what?
That's awesome.
Let's look in that bathroom.
Wow, what a good size! Wow, I was really surprised to see this. I thought the bath was where they're going to pull it from, because you didn't lose anything in the kitchen. I mean, you had a huge kitchen area, good sized living room. You know, I was not expecting to see this size of bathroom.
Large lavatory, linen, and look how big that square shower stall is with the obscure glass telescoping doors.
Wow. I mean, it's big enough to have a seat.
Yeah.
Inside there. I mean, tons of room.
You could actually dress in the bathroom if you needed to.
No question. A lot of additional countertop space. You know, big medicine cabinet. Big, you know, stainless steel sink basins.
And something else, porcelain toilet.
Very well done. Like I said, I just was not expecting to see that kind of space utilized in this 36-foot coach
and
in the bath. I figured that's where they were going to steal it from.
Oh, yeah, well, and we still have 6'6" clearance for the shower.
That is big. And the placement of the half bath is great. You know, right across from your bunks.
This area, Donnie, we've actually accommodated for children, and adults could sleep in this also. But 13-inch TVs in here, individual, tied together. They have their own lighting. But what's unique about this, you have grandmas and grandpas and moms and dads. They might travel by themselves or they're full-time, but they want the kids to come stay with them. Well, this dubs as a hanging closet. Full wardrobe in this.
So that's awesome. So this just converts up, turn it into a closet.
Yes.
Or like I said, you can easily bring the bunks down, and, you know, like obviously, as you said, makes a great grandparents coach. It's just going to have the kids part of the time.
Right.
And also, you noticed on the 13-inch TVs that you mentioned. I mean, that's something that really nobody does. Everything's going to be the little flip down 7-inch monitor.
Right.
So it gives the kids much larger TVs, and they're actually TVs. So I mean, you can actually use them to watch cable or movies and things like that when you're plugged up. Traditionally, they're just monitors that play DVD games, you know, DVDs and games only.
It's a little more than that also. It actually has a DVD player built in the back of it, so they can actually play games and videos if they want to, or their own private DVDs.
That is great. And easy to access porch for their gaming systems.
Yes.
That's really nice.
Yes.
And I love how y'all did this, because traditionally the bunks, I mean, this is what they're going to have. I mean, you're going to have, you know,
just the curtain
the curtain only, you know, for the kids' privacy at night or whatever.
These actually come out and hang down nicely.
But absolutely, it's got a nice look. But obviously, you know, those still aren't the most attractive things in the world when you don't have these doors to where when, you know, people are going to come over or whatever,
Right.
you know, everybody's up and going. I mean, being able to close this off and just have a nice, clean look, you know, throw all the kids' junk in there and nobody's got to see it.
Exactly. And the nice thing is, too, whoever's sleeping this can actually shut 2 of these doors and just leave the one end open if they'd like.
That's really well done. And like, it just finishes the coach off. It just keeps it, you know, it just keeps it to where it has a really nice look, like I said, when the bunks are not in use.
Well, you know, something else that we offer is this 360 DL that we've been bringing up, okay?
Yeah.
This bunkhouse model is awesome, and it's great for its purpose. But it does have a dual purpose, but the 360 is more of a residential style 2 or 4 person motorhome with the L-shaped sofa. Has a fireplace in it. Actually has the big galley area like this has, but it's somewhat reversed. Right. And it has a very nice living area, and that's something that you need to see.
It's been such a popular coach this last year for us. That's one that's got the L-shaped sofa that extends out in the L shape. And like I said, that fireplace, it's a great arrangement, really is. So, you know, like you said, if the bunk's not not needed for you, that 360 DL really does make a great complement to this coach. Got a lot of additional storage over here. This is a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be as well. 2 good size storage areas here.
Yeah, it's nice for linen.
Wow, and then still have this much space. I mean, what a great little
awesome
bedroom.
Look how wide this hallway is going into this master bedroom.
Absolutely. Big queen size bed.
Yes.
And is this full length? Is this a true queen?
It's just a 60 by 75 is what it is.
Nice.
So, yeah. And then deep closet slide outs. You got his and her drawers underneath.
Oh, yeah. Good size closet. And it still has that decorative wall board.
Yes.
Even inside the closets.
Now, here's a nice thing about this. You actually have wardrobe hanging beside you. Shirt closet. Okay. 2 drawers.
Sure do. And it's a separate DVD player here.
Yes. You got a Samsung Blu-ray for the TV that's in here.
I did not realize that was a Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. Well, good. Good. Couple more drawers. Oh, yeah. Those are a lot bigger than I thought they were going to be. Now, what about storage? Do we have any storage under the bed?
There is huge storage underneath the bed here, and it's all finished underneath. And you could actually put the big totes under this if you wanted to.
All right. Really nice.
Yes, very much so.
Big, pretty residential headboard. I like how they use some of the wood as well as the fabric and stuff in the coach.
Well, the fabrics and the hardwood for the headboard, it's very attractive in this room. And actually, that lighter wallboard complements the fabrics and the
sure
wood
does.
color.
Plenty of storage up overhead, too.
Yes. And LED lighting throughout this bedroom area also.
Awesome.
Now, Donnie, look at this. You got telescoping doors with the Samsung.
Hey, that's a big bedroom TV.
Yes.
Yes. So many of these things they'll put, I mean, stuff what people would consider now like an iPad.
Yeah.
You know, and so many of these coaches, it's great to see y'all put a good sized TV. I mean, that's where people are going to watch TV most of the time in an RVs at night.
Exactly. You know? Well, you're back here. You know, we talked about the dual zones in the air conditioning. Well, here's the sensor for the rear air conditioner right here.
Nice.
So, like we said, you've got 2 climate controls in this for the front and back of the unit.
Well, that's nice. I mean, it gives the master bedroom really a nice level of privacy, you know, with the real wood pocket doors.
Yes. And
a nice big TV for mom and dad. All there is left is I'd like to get behind the dash. I'd like to see, you know, what y'all have done this year, you know, up there for the drivability of it.
You're going to see some really neat things up in that cockpit area. It's very nice.
All right, let's take a look.
Donnie, I want to show you a few things up here that is very nice in this area for travel. This 6-way power seat works unbelievably nice.
That is nice.
Fully adjustable 6-way. It actually will come around and lock into place. You have full telescoping steering wheel here also. And the LED lights backlit as you travel, you actually can see your cup holders at night.
That's cool. What a neat look.
touchscreen radio in the dash. We talked about that as your color monitor for the side cameras and your rear monitor.
Right.
You have heated remote mirrors off the side here, full visibility around this motorhome.
Big mirrors too.
Yes, as you sit there. And the other nice thing is we actually have an ICC flasher like the big trucks have. And what that is a courtesy flash. When you go around somebody with your lights, you can click this a couple times and say thank you for letting you over. A lot of motorhomes don't even offer that anymore.
Sure.
So we put that on a lot of high-end coaches back in the day. Nice thing is fully automatic levelers, which we've demonstrated that. You actually can pull up and hit this button and turn it on, push one button and walk away. It'll level itself without you setting here. So that's a nice feature. 6-speed Allison transmission has been around forever. They're virtually bulletproof. This actually, without getting in great deal, it's a push button electronic transmission, which realistically for the person that drives it the most within 3,000 miles, it'll actually develop a shift pattern for your style of driving that gives you maximum horsepower, torque, and fuel economy. That adds to the value of the coach. You know, if you can pick up a few tenths on mileage just because the transmission adjusts itself out, that's actually money in your pocket.
Absolutely.
You actually have a battery switch over here that ties the house and the chassis batteries together. If you happen to run one or the other down, this will actually get you started one way or the other, either the generator or the chassis itself. On this, you actually have dual horns. You have air horns and the regular vibrating horn.
I hit the air horns. There we go.
And the other thing is you've got a map light up here, and it brights up this whole thing. So if you pull off the side of the road at night and you really do need to see something, or fix something and get out, it's quick, bright light for yourself. Something else we talked about earlier is the variable geometry turbo, which actually houses your exhaust brake, is what it does.
Okay.
And in the new design of this, and they've did it a few years now, actually gives you 500 more braking horsepower than the old exhaust brake system that actually had the flapper valve in the exhaust. And that's touch right here. And you turn that on and leave it. A lot of people don't. Yes. You turn this on, you let off the foot pedal. It actually sends it into motion where it'll drop 1 or 2 gears on the transmission. The back pressure slows you down. But a lot of people don't realize that the brake lights come on. It actually will slow you down that fast.
Wow.
So it won't lock tires up, but it actually will slow you down to wind down a mountain or an off-ramp. You actually have your intermittent wipers on a handy stick lever here.
Okay.
And then you've got your high and low for the main wipers. Turn them on and off.
Great.
And then we talked about Freightliner has their Trip Tech system in the dash. You have the joystick here that you can actually turn that on and scroll through. And like we've talked about before, you actually it's kind of a trip setup, and it has safety checks to make sure you have all your components in, the lights or your
steps are in,
awnings in,
right?
And
it's actually designed
down
for RVers,
right?
Built-in checklist,
right? Well, something else we offer in this front area is we actually have power electric full-length MCD shades in the front. You actually have the solar screen and the total blackout, and the manual automatics on the side are really nice. And as you travel, you can literally block most of the sun coming in. That actually causes for climate control, but your comfortability and the seeing.
Yes.
Because you don't have that bright light and the heat coming in on you. So it makes it a lot better. And literally to let it go, it'll go up like that. The air ride and the air brakes and the ride and the handle of this, the motors, and the heat and the noise is out the back on a diesel motorhome.
Right.
You know, you've got better airflow, quietness. We could talk like this at 65, 70 mile an hour going down the road. Donnie, the instrumentation on this is very eye-appealing, and it's very visible.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it easily through the steering wheel itself. I noticed you got these 2 gauges over here on the right. What are those that are offset? Those
are actually your air gauges. You actually have 2 air tanks on this for the brakes.
Okay.
They're called ping tanks, and
gotcha.
They actually, you're going to run about 110, 120 psi in those. We talked about the touchscreen on the camera here. You actually have dual 12-volt outlets. you know.
And you know, what I noticed about y'all's dashes this year, aesthetically, much more pleasing. I noticed how y'all two-tone the dashes to match the interiors now. So you've got that taupe and the tan working in the dash. But then also this black area right here, you know, where the cup holders and stuff are, you know, just to hide the faces of the backup monitor itself and the controls for the air conditioning unit. Just really well thought out, the additional little chrome piece here. But more importantly to me was how y'all designed the dash. I mean, you've actually got this facing the driver instead of the backup camera being as it normally is, just facing straight towards the back of the motorhome. Just makes that much more visible and, you know, easier for you to reach the controls to the stereo and backup camera and AC and the whole bit.
Well, it's aircraft style cockpit for the most part. It's all right here in front of you in a semi-radius.
And it's like the rest of the coach. I mean, y'all just really did a great job in design, in engineering, just how the coach is laid out, how it looks this year, the usability. It's absolutely phenomenal and just a beautiful coach. Did a great job this year.
Well, we're really excited about what we've presented here, and we really think that the end user, which is a customer, will be very pleased.
It really is just an incredible coach and a tremendous value. You know, when people shop the comparable products, look at features, benefits, and what you can buy and what you can pay for these coaches here at Motorhome Specialist, it really is arguably the best value in a diesel pusher on the road today.
Without a doubt. And really, if they're looking for a motorhome, here's a place to come. And what we offer in this cross country and all of our product lines that we have, people would be very pleased with the price and the value that they get.
No question. Hey, Joe, thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time to be away from your family and spend some time with ours and come down and do such a great job educating our future customers about this great new product from Sportscoach. We really do appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
And folks, if you have any additional questions about Sportscoach, the Cross Country, Pathfinders, or any of our other products available here at Motorhome Specialists, don't hesitate to give us a call at 1-800-335-6054 or shop us online anytime at mhsrv.com. Thank you all so much for watching, and we all look forward to hearing from you soon. But before you buy a new cross country, or any new motorhome for that matter, be sure to check the MSRP, or the manufacturer's suggested retail price. Unfortunately, other dealers prefer playing numbers games and price their new units at the full manufacturer's suggested retail price. Then they discount the MSRP a meager 10 to 15% or less, and many unsuspecting RV buyers end up paying too much for their new motorhome. They also use the heavily inflated price of the MSRP to over-allow on trade-ins and trick other RV owners into thinking that they are getting more for their trade-in than they really are. Some dealers even alter the manufacturer's window stickers to reflect a higher price, or remove the window sticker altogether and create their own version of retail pricing, even though this is against United States federal law. Without knowing the true manufacturer's suggested price, you cannot be sure of the true percentage discount you are receiving from the dealership. Always demand a copy of the MSRP, and only do business with dealers who prominently display not only the MSRP, but an upfront percentage discounted sale price without having to ask for it. If you have any doubt about the MSRP, call the manufacturer. If you have any doubt about your sale price, call Motorhome Specialist. Motorhome Specialist is not only the #1 volume selling motorhome dealer in the world, but also the #1 sports coach dealer in the world, offering the most diverse selection of new and used motorhomes you'll find anywhere, with prices ranging from about $10,000 to over $2 million and every price point in between. At Motorhome Specialist, you'll never find our new motorhomes priced at MSRP. Instead, you'll find an upfront discounted sale price that you can easily compare to other products and dealerships across the country. No matter if you're veteran RVers, or first-time buyers just looking for quality information and a dealership to treat you fairly, Motorhome Specialist upfront pricing will take the games, gimmicks, and anxiety about paying too much out of the sales process. Because at Motorhome Specialist, we believe everyone deserves the same low price. It is this business principle that has allowed Motorhome Specialist to grow from being a small, pre-owned only dealership in 1999 to an industry leader, selling approximately 40% of all new motorhomes sold in the state of Texas. We offer over 60 different models of new motorhomes from 10 of the most well-known manufacturers in the industry. Each are committed to producing quality products and offer something distinctly different in style and function. Sportscoach is one of the oldest and most recognized names in motorhomes, with their company origins tracing all the way back to 1968. They were acquired by Coachmen RV in 1978 and most recently became part of Forest River and the Berkshire Hathaway Group. Berkshire Hathaway's current list of companies includes some of the most well-known in the world. Forest River has over 60 plants nationwide, manufacturing more than 80 different makes of trailers, fifth wheels, boats, cargo trailers, manufactured and modular homes, commercial vehicles, shuttle buses, and of course, luxury Class C, Class A gas, and diesel pusher motorhomes. And when you purchase any new Sportscoach RV from Motorhome Specialist, you will not only enjoy superior service, selection, and pricing, but also receive a free 1-year membership to the Coachmen Owners Association. This added value not only provides a host of travel services and campground discounts, but also 24/7 online service that locates needed services while offering savings at more than 180,000 merchants across the country. So call 1-800-335-6054 or visit mhsrv.com for our upfront and everyday low sale price that has made us the #1 volume selling dealership in the world. And take the family in style on your next big RV adventure in a Sportscoach cross country from Motorhome Specialist. Why pay more? Why settle for less?
If you think that this is the right unit for you and your family, please contact a representative from Motorhome Specialist. We have easy financing with up to 20-year terms available and year-round sale prices on our entire inventory. We sell RVs to people literally all over the world. If you're flying in, we will pick you up at the airport and bring you to your new RV. Each new RV goes through a rigorous service checklist twice before your arrival. Once here, you will be greeted by a service tech and shown how everything works and that everything is working properly on your new unit. You will also have an RV starter kit that includes a new water hose, sewer hose, chemicals, and much more. Thanks for watching our video. We all look forward to hearing from you soon.